This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2022 StarCraft Superlight model 212 FB. It's going to show you some of the features. First of all, you've got a quick connect fitting for the LP system if you want to plug in a grill. This here is a hookup for a sprayer. It comes with a sprayer. There's also another port on the other side. You got regular scissor type stabilizer jacks, which take a 3/4 inch socket or a crank, which both come with the trailer. Okay. While we're on that subject, if you look at this hole down here, I can't really show you, but because you won't be able to see it. But if you look through that hole, you're going to see a shaft with a 3/4 inch hex on it. You can use the crank or a drill. Here's the crank right here, and there's the drill attachment right there. You can use that to crank the slide out manually if you happen to lose power or for whatever reason, any kind of malfunction. So you can crank it in and out in an emergency. Also, while I'm talking about that, the power tongue jack, which is right here, it has a rubber plug on the top. So if this was to fail, you can pull that plug out and use the same crank or socket to operate this. Okay. One thing to note is that this is pre-wired for 2 side cameras and 1 backup camera. So you can see that's where this rear piece would snap off and the camera would take its place. So you can add up to 3 cameras to this trailer. Okay. 2 30-pound LP tanks, deep cycle marine battery, of course. Let me go this way. Okay, so this is the water docking station. This lever right here, right now it's in the vertical position, so if you look, that's for city water. If you were to change it to the manual, or the horizontal position, it'll fill the tank. So you hook your hose right up here, and you put it in city water, and if you got city water, everything on the trailer will operate, all the plumbing will operate. If you're going to a campground that doesn't have plumbing on the campsite, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank by putting this in the horizontal position and taking the water with you. Use the onboard pump to pump the water. This is another place to hook your sprayer up. That little coax is a cable through, and that is the black tank flush. So right here you have your black tank lever, or excuse me, valve, and your gray tank valve. So you pull you dump the black first because it's toilet water and waste. Then you dump the gray. It's cleaner than the black water, so you do it in that order. Then if you leave the black tank valve open, you could hook the hose at the dump station right to here, turn it on, and it'll flush out your tank, clean out your sensors, do a good job of getting an accurate reading, that sort of thing. So this is your power cord. It's 30 feet and 30 amps, and we give you an adapter to adapt it to a household plug also. There's the backup housing there. Also, you have a ladder, as you can see. The manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 90 days, so you want someone to go up there and be very careful, of course, and look at the sealant, make sure there's no crack or separation where water can get in. Look at the roof attachments, make sure they weren't damaged by low branches or road debris or that sort of thing. If you see an issue, take care of it immediately. People do not inspect their roof enough, generally speaking. Okay, so this is your water heater. You can see this is your drain plug / anode rod, and it goes right into here. That's how you drain it. The switches to operate it are inside, but this takes an 1 1/16 6-point socket, and you'll need at least a 6-inch extension and a bar or a ratchet so you can spin it on and off. So you need to get that if you don't have it and take it with you, so you can drain it when you need to. Okay, let's go inside. This device here is the power converter. It has circuit breakers inside like you see at home. Then it converts the 110 AC down to 12 volt DC, and it has regular automotive fuses on the 12 volt side, which are labeled. Also, this is a battery tender, so as long as you're plugged in, it's going to sense how much energy your battery needs up front, and it's going to keep it charged up. So the 12 volt draws from the battery. The battery's recharged by this power converter when you're plugged in, and when you're towing down the road, your tow vehicle's alternator charges the battery. So, okay, that's where the 12 volt comes from. Second of all, this refrigerator, not second of all, but next, this refrigerator is a gas absorption refrigerator. Let's see if I can operate here without accidentally shut my camera off again. So you push the mode button, and what you want, here, let me hold it. What you want is A with an electrical plug, right? That means auto electric. Let me get a better angle, there we go. So you could choose it dedicated to gas or dedicated to electricity, but with the automatic feature, it'll always seek out electricity first, and if it can't find it, it'll switch to gas, or it'll, how do you say, if you're leaving the campground for a day, for example, you can put it on automatic electric, and let's say if you have a power failure after you leave, it'll sense that and automatically switch over to gas for you. It works on LP gas or 110 AC. All right. These are your hookups here, or I'm sorry, your switches for your power awning right here, and your slide out right here. These are just light switches, and of course you push these buttons here, and it checks your levels. Once you get past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping the tanks. You turn your water pump on here. The water pump's used to pump water out of the fresh water tank if you don't have city water. It's also used to winterize the trailer. Your water heater on gas is right here. So let's turn it on electric, it's here. Never run it without water in the tank. Always make sure there's water in the tank before you run it, okay? All right, there's your keys, of course. Now I'm just going to talk you through this here. Basically, for the range top, excuse me, you just spark it turning this clockwise. So you turn on whatever valve you want for whichever burner, spark it and light it. When it comes to the oven, you're just going to go to this position here, then you're going to depress it and keep it depressed, right? Then with the other hand, you'll start sparking until the pilot light, which is all the way back there, lights. Once it lights, you still hold it in for another, 10 seconds or so to heat up. You go to operating temperature, but when you shut it off, of course, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light, so you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Okay, this is the range hood fan here. So remember, it vents to the outside, so you got to make sure the baffle is open on that what word am I looking for? The vent that's on the outside. So that's it right there. So just you push basically you reach up in there and unsnap the baffle. It has to be able to vent to the outside, so it's important to open that baffle before you use it. Otherwise, you keep it shut. Microwave works like any other microwave. Your sound here, you got FM radio. It's hard to see here with the light, but you got FM radio. You got USB. You can stream off the USB. You have Bluetooth, so you can hook up wirelessly with your phone or tablet. This HDMI is an in, so you could bring a portable Blu-ray player or a game machine or something and go straight into the system this way. It has two zones, zone 1 and zone 2. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. So it does a lot. Okay, with your TV, always make sure you lock it into place before you start traveling. Okay, there's some storage underneath the bed. There's also storage underneath this cushion. That is your table. So your dining table comes out, and you can set it up and use it. Only have it set up when you need it. That way you don't lose the floor space to it. And of course, this section jackknifes flat, so you turn it into a bed. All right. Next this is the carbon monoxide LP gas detector right there. It should always be green. Make sure it's green. If it goes off, it's detected carbon monoxide or LP gas. So take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off, figure out what's going on. And if it beeps very slowly, it's telling you your battery up front is low. So it does 3 things. This is your thermostat. You just push the mode button to select the mode you want, and it's that simple. There's also a fan button, so if they give you an option of automatic or high or low, always choose auto. That's the best way to run it, okay? Alrighty, so the bathroom, sink and shower work like any other sink and shower. This is a GFCI plug. All the plugs in the trailer are wired to a GFCI, even the one on the outside. So if you're plugged in outside and with a coffee pot and it pops, you would reset it in here, for example. When it comes to the toilet, the thing is, obviously that's antifreeze in there. It's winterized right now, but this is the flush pedal here. So you can't use it dry. By dry, I'm talking about the black tank, which is directly below. So what you do is you dump, when you get into the campground, you hook up the power and the water. You'll come in here, you'll put 1 dose of chemical right in the bowl for whatever, read the directions, whatever product you're using, 1 dose. Then you'll step on the pedal, and let about a gallon of water run into the black tank along with the chemical. And then you're all set. If you don't, it'll stink really bad, and it can also get clogged up. So you always have to have chemical and water in there before you start using it. Next, the fan. Obviously, you know, you can use it with the shower because it pulls the humidity out. That's important. You don't want to create a climate where mold or mildew could grow. And also, when you have a bunch of people over and it's one of those nights where it's kind of cool and you got a lot of condensation from the breath, for example, you can just turn this on. It'll suck all that right out. You won't have any issues at all. Okay. So let me look around. I think I've pretty much covered everything important.